multiple days of full-blown tornado outbreaks are going to be possible over the course of the next 5 days. Starting off with the severe weather outlook for today, you can tell we do have two separate areas that we are watching. One up here in the northeast for some damaging winds, large hail, and maybe a brief tornado. But then we have an area back here in North Texas around the DFW area where we are watching for the threat of a couple tornadoes to be possible, maybe even a strong one. But I would say that the greatest tornado threat is going to be located probably across this area right here. Maybe a bit more confined around this area. But then also up here in parts of northern Oklahoma, we have to watch along a warm front. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. If we go ahead and head over here to the severe wind outlook, you can tell it is a 30% non-hatched. Then we could actually end up seeing some hailstones up to the size of baseball today, anywhere in that black hatched area. So anywhere from southwest Kansas into eastern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, back into South Texas. So we're going to watch that, as baseball-sized hail is going to do some damage if it does hit your house or car. Whatever it hits, it's going to do damage. The tornado outlook is a bit lower than yesterday, luckily, with only a 5% tornado risk. But I do think the Storm Prediction Center is sleeping up here on the northern Oklahoma target. I do think we will end up seeing a 5% tornado risk up there in northern Oklahoma before this event does unfold. Moving on to tomorrow, we could potentially see a full-fledged tornado outbreak. Now, one of the uncertainties right now is because we have a dry line setting up here in western Oklahoma. And the problem is we're getting all this moisture and everything. Everything's coming together. The dry line's setting up, but we're not getting storms firing along it. They're firing to the east of it, and which is a good thing. But if storms fire along the dry line, they are going to be extremely dangerous. And we do have a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk in portions of Texas and Oklahoma for tomorrow. And we also are watching this slight risk. And if models start to show storms firing along the dry line here in western Oklahoma, it is very likely we see a much larger enhanced risk like that. So damaging winds, large hail, and a few tornadoes, maybe even a long track one or two. As you can tell, the damaging wind threat is only a 15% non-hatch. Yet again, we could see some baseball to softball, maybe even up to DVD-sized hail in some areas in central Kansas. And then, again, like I said, we do have a bit of an elevated tornado risk tomorrow. But we are still watching very closely, as this could definitely be expanded over a much larger area. Here's the big day, though. Monday, May 19th, we're watching. Now, there are some big uncertainties here, but the SPC has outlined a very large level 3 out of 5 across portions of North Texas, northwestern Arkansas, central and northeast, pretty much from central Oklahoma, east and northeastward and southeastward, parts of eastern and southeastern Kansas, and then pretty much all of western and central Missouri is under this risk. You can tell a very large slight risk is also in play, and with a very large marginal risk in play as well. So we're keeping an eye on this. And this tornado risk could definitely grow higher if we do see more supercellular storm mode fire off across our dry line instead of a more linear mode pushing out from Kansas. There's still a lot of uncertainties, and it is very possible we do see a large moderate risk issued tomorrow for portions of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri, I feel. And I think the highest risk we will get is moderate out of this. As you can tell, we do have a 30% hatched risk already for any significant severe weather. That means long track tornadoes, hail exceeding 2 inches in diameter, and wind gusts exceeding 74 miles an hour. Moving on to the HRRR for today. Here we are going to see storms fire off around the lunchtime, and they will evolve very fast, but I do think we are going to start to see this become more linear over the next couple hours after these storms fire off. And you can tell here, look at that hook on this one storm. Absolutely insane. That's why I do think we may get a 5% tornado risk issued up here in Oklahoma, northern and northeastern Oklahoma, because there is the chance, but it does look a lot more clustered now. So we're going to watch that very closely. Moving on to significant tornado parameter for today, you can tell there's going to be a period here that we do have a bit of a elevated tornado risk from southern Oklahoma back through portions of central Texas. But we also have this narrow corridor here through Oklahoma that we are watching. And also, if we go and take it farther ahead, it really doesn't grow much more into parts of northern Oklahoma, but it did get up around this area, so we're going to watch it. Another area to watch is back here in southeastern Oklahoma. We got to keep an eye on that. So we'll definitely keep an eye on this for you. Moving on to look up here for not today, but tomorrow. We can tell we are going to have some storms fire off. And the dry line, keep in mind, is setting up right around this area. And if I actually go ahead and show you where that dry line is at, we are at hour 30. So if we go ahead and head over here to the dew point, and if we push it to hour 30, here we are, hour 30. The dry line is setting up a lot farther to the west. So you're going to have to watch this very closely, as the dry line is all the way out here in the eastern Texas panhandle. And as we could see here, if we head over to hour 30, those storms were not firing off along that dry line. And that is why we may not have a tornado outbreak tomorrow, which is a good thing. Keep in mind, we do not want a tornado outbreak. And these storms here in Kansas and Oklahoma are mainly going to be wind producers if they don't fire off along the dry line. So we're going to have to keep an eye on today and tomorrow. Then, of course, we are going to be watching Monday for you as well here in the weather house. So watching it closely, if we go ahead and head out here to hour 30, here we are. You can tell we are going to see our significant tornado parameters grow, and they're very elevated across a very large area. You can tell anywhere from northeastern Colorado back through all of Oklahoma, pretty much all of central and eastern Oklahoma. We're watching for a very elevated tornado threat if storms fire along the dry line and are able to push east-northeastward. Moving on to the NAM 3KM CONUS, we are going to pull this out to Monday. So here we are on Monday. So this is Sunday. Okay, here we are entering Monday. I don't know. Yeah, it's not really going out far enough, but we are going to have to watch these sporadic showers and thunderstorms to see if they are going to cause anything. If we actually head over here to the GFS, go ahead and push it ahead to Monday. If it would load. It'd be nice. We go ahead and take this and also make this the GFS. Internet is acting up right now. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it? But here we are, the GFS, and if we put it on surface-based cape, alrighty, so it is loading now. So Saturday we are on. So Saturday, here we are, Sunday, and here we are getting into Monday now. We're going to have to watch for any storms that do fire up Monday. As you can tell here, we are watching very closely as this shows a very elongated area of supercells firing off right across that enhanced area. Keep in mind, dry line is set up a bit further to the east, so our dry line is set up around here. And we do see storms firing off right around there and pushing northeastward. So watching it very closely, as if this happens, we could very well have a full-fledged tornado outbreak occur. As if we go and look at instability for Monday, there's going to be quite a bit. And if we take a sounding down here in southern Oklahoma, we'll take one in central along with eastern Oklahoma, 5,027 Cape, tornado possible hazard type, not a very enlarged totograph though. So here we are. If we take one here in central Oklahoma, around the Oklahoma City area, yet again, tornado possible hazard type, 4,146 Cape, not an enlarged totograph though, which is not a bad thing, keep in mind. If we take one here in northern Oklahoma, let's take it here, northern Oklahoma, 4,567 Cape. So they're not enlarged totographs, but we definitely are going to have to watch the potential, as if we actually go ahead and try and take one more sounding here in Tulsa, which is not in the greatest amount of Cape. Tulsa, Oklahoma, tornado possible hazard type. So we're just going to have to keep an eye on it. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new here, and I will keep you updated with the latest on everything you will need to know. See you next time. Bye.